my God realization, um, progression, and development. So, in this video, I want to describe what my experience and perception in terms of what one could term as God realization and progression in it, in terms of what physically happened. Because I'm advanced in yoga meditation, I had, my first Samadhi experience in 1987, um, which is like 38 years ago or so, and then multiple Samadhi experiences, not full on for long time, but because I will describe all that, and also my theoretical knowledge and what I believe the concept of God is from my perspective. Right? So I will discuss that in this video. I would like to ask you a great favor. If you like the contents of my video, please also remember to like and subscribe to my channel. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And an extra optional favor, if you could just drop a comment and share it with just one other person or your social media channel, I would very highly appreciate that. But bottom line, I want to thank each and every one of you for the precious time that you are spending in listening to my videos. And for those of you who do not know me, I am Osman. I'm the blind Muslim, hashtag blind Muslim yogi, um, bioenergy healer, um, um, on a master level, with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and even spiritual ailments. My amazing offer currently is a 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you telepathically, anywhere, instantly, globally, and pay only after you are satisfied. This goes for all my treatment protocols. You only pay after you are satisfied and happy, with the treatment. I don't charge anything upfront, and you may get my contact information from my website, yogawellness786.com. And I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. But the uniqueness of my abilities is that I've learned under various different amazing masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the Far East, the East, the Middle East, the West, including the scientific communities. And what I've done is I've taken the ancient sciences and simplified it, making them quicker, easier, faster, more time efficient, and results oriented. Creating my own unique combination protocols. And to that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, and where you can also get more information about my services. Also, remember my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So, I'll try to be brief, and the reason why my videos are very long winded and so forth is I try to talk to you like I would talk to you when you are physically present in front of me, right? Not like some prepared, scholarly subject giving point A to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is it. And like how things are normally prepared. I like to keep it conversational and keep it natural. And also because I'm blind, I can't prepare notes and read from my notes, right? And I don't have a separate iPad or something. I only have one, my phone, and my phone is everything. And I'm using my phone to independently record myself. I don't have someone to help me to record. And even to record these videos, I struggled, I think, more than 3 years just to be able to record it, because having problems, technical problems. I didn't know how to record, buying devices that if I can click to press the start and stop record. And I got people to assist me, and then they were only assisting me for a short while, and then they they left, and then I couldn't progress. And I needed to be able to do this independently, so that I can do it regularly. And only after more than 3 years, the first time I'm able to do it. And there's no proper studio, proper lighting, and I fortunately managed to, get a gift of a microphone. And the microphone is helping with the sound quality. If you see some of my earlier videos, the sound quality was really pathetic, with a lot of, noises from the streets. There was no noise reduction. And but I felt my in the information that I have, is so important that I don't want, to pass away without, leaving this information, in a public platform, because I've made so many discoveries, over the time. And these are relatively unique and not commonly spoken about, on the internet or in books. And many things I found out because I was very passionate about the subject for over, I think, 50 years, from 49 years, from 1976, my journey began, right, when I was 8 years old. And strangely, I was very serious about this from a very young age. It seems like crazy and weird from that age, but I was like very passionate about it, right? And even when my mother asked me what I wanted for my 10th birthday, there was no hesitation. I wanted the 30 volume Science of Yoga books. She was thinking something is wrong with this child who is not asking for a bicycle or a game or a toy, or, or a gun set, or, something. He's asking for a 30 volume edition on the science of yoga. When I think of it now, it's like funny, but I'm into it very serious. So it's not a surprise that by the age of 19, I had my first Samadhi experience, right? So how the Samadhi, you get the proper Samadhi, like the enlightenment experience where people is able to sit at will on a daily basis for several hours, 4 or 5 hours, like Sadhguru, it was 4.5 hours went, the first time in that enlightenment. I experienced it consciously, and it was so mind blowing. Only for a few minutes I couldn't handle it because the energy was too much. It was like love overload. What is described in the Vedic literatures as Satchidananda, right? Bliss and knowledge and truth, and existence. You feel yourself. So, what I actually felt in that experience, I felt myself in a plasma. Like I'm in a plasma of love, intense, like the love you feel, but you multiply it exponentially. It's so much, it's like you can't handle. Love is an amazing feeling, but too much of it, it's like, how can I describe it? If someone is tickling you and it's like too much, you can't handle it. It's that intense. The love was intense. Oh, I'm saying stop, 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 and that's how it stopped. And I just was screaming like stop. I'm not with my voice. I couldn't speak with my voice. In my mind, I'm shouting. My mind, stop, stop, and it stopped instantly. Right within a few seconds. I mean, what I thought was a few seconds, because when you have that experience, you lose construct of time. And suddenly I could understand things better as well. So I my wisdom suddenly clicked open, and all the philosophies that I was studying suddenly started to make sense, and I could understand the deeper things. So if you watch my videos, it's from that time, from the age of 19, that I could understand things more deeper than what people normally perceive it to be, right? And also feeling of that love, so an existence, that I felt myself one with everything, and that everything is love. Every people say everything is energy. I felt that energy is a form of love, and everything is so beautiful and intense, that love is, but too much can't handle. And after I came out of it, I can't talk. I'm trying to talk. I think it took about an hour before a word could come out of my mouth. I opened my mouth, nothing is coming out. I'm like overwhelmed with that bliss, right? That I felt. And then what was my first thing is this? My first thought was not that this is God. Everyone says, no, this is God. Satchidananda is what is God. is that, and that's what I read, in the book. I said, no. And I'm only 19 years old. I said, no, this is not God. This is the any, because I perceived it. How I am just 19. My brain is so small. How can I understand or perceive God? God is, far beyond what the mind can conceive, right? And I went deep into like Advaita and all this thing, understanding of Advaita and so forth. But I didn't want to accept that that was God. I said, no, it's the energy of God. If the energy of God is so great, how much greater is God? How am I so foolish that I have to wait for this type of experience before understanding the greatness of God? Couldn't I understand looking at the mountains, looking at the flowers, looking at the trees, looking at the birds? We look at all these things and so amazing. And isn't there a creator behind this? Why didn't I understand that time that there is someone who was creating and created such beauty? And did I need to experience something like this before I could realize that the God is so great? I said, no, this is not, this is the energy of God. And then I went deeper and deeper into studying the philosophies and so forth, and had other, so that was during, you know, I was introduced, and I was experimenting on a mantra. And I was doing the mantra while walking, right? Not sitting cross legged, walking, pacing to and fro and chanting the mantra, and bliss overload, bang, boom, fall down unconscious, right? And wake up, and it's actually dangerous to do this chanting, walking, and so forth, because these are mystical things, right? Now I know why people sit on the floor, because if you fall, you're not going to hurt yourself. If you're sitting on a high propped out in a chair, you must be careful that it must be like an armchair, that if you go into a mystical experience and you drop, because you lose consciousness of your body is just going to fall flop, and you're going to hurt your head if you bang it on the floor or something, right? That's what happens. I went flop, boom, flat out, multiple times. And then if I sat on the couch, like I'm falling on the, and you can like fall over, right, to the side. So normally I get the winged arms and the winged sides, that type of couch to sit on. And be careful that I can't fall. And in the cross-legged, you're more propped up, and you're a bit stable when you no longer in the body, right? And so I kept saying, hey, why this must be the energy. And as I studied more, that then you read the experience, the energy of God, and you study in the, like in the various scriptures. In the Quran it says that before God created everything, He created something like it. And I'm an energy healer. I know there's a subtle energy, there's a cosmic energy. When you're sitting in meditation, it downloads into your body through the Brahmarandra, right? There's a subtle opening here, not a physical opening, a subtle opening. And it's, according to the theory, it flows. And the calmer your mind is, the stronger is the flow. The more your mind is unstable, the slower. It like chokes the flow of the energy. So the more and more calm you become, the faster and faster the flow into your body, right? So that's why they advise you to practice mindfulness, that way. And then experiencing the Kundalini energy, the rising of the Kundalini and the massive power of the Kundalini energy and so forth. And then studying the philosophy in Advaita, that you get three concepts of God. You get the concept of form, and then according to Swami Vivekananda, who brought yoga in yoga science in the English language to the West by coming and giving a talk. I think it was in 1902 to the address the United Nations in London, and he had a standing ovation just by saying, he was greeting to everyone, my brothers and sisters. Call them brothers and sisters. It was such a profound effect. Everyone stood up and was applauding, I think for about a full 2 minutes or something, right? And he said that superior to form is the formless, right? And then going deeper into Kashmiri Saivism and into Saiva Satanda as well, that there is the third concept is, you get the form, you get the formless, and then you get that which is beyond form and beyond formless. And the conclusion of Vedanta or Advaita is that God is not form, is not formless, is actually form beyond form and beyond formless. Then you said, but why? There's different opinions, right? This is not a singular, opinion across the board, and a perspective being delved very deeply into the science. That actually, there was one argument that it's a fiction used because people can't understand what is beyond nothing. You get something, then you get nothing, and then you get something that is neither something nor nothing. The brain cannot understand that. They said this people can't. And if you start talking about nothing, they want something they can see. If there's a God, show me. So they said let them start with a form, and they start with deities, right? So the deities are energetic creations from mantra and tantra and yantra, right? So mantra is the audible, mystical aspect of God or creation of God, not God, right? In my opinion. And the tantra uh, is uh, the the physical aspect, the physical form, the deity, right? I could be making a mistake. And then the yantra is the diagram, right? Or they say the yantra is actually, the form or the deity, and because each mantra has got a form, right? So when I studied mantra yoga, right? When I studied mantra yoga, because I've studied under various masters, various amazing teachers, they showed me how to see the form of the particular mantra. So when you recite any mantra, every mantra got a form. You must see that form. In the first level, like, she showed me how to see the form. So I learned how to see the form, and then you can communicate with the form. First, you see it; it's like just a form. It's like from nowhere. It's like very beautiful, right? And then eventually, as you're continuing progressing, you'll be able to communicate. It is communicating with you immediately, but you don't know how to because they don't communicate in the English language or the Sanskrit language or the Arabic language or the Hebrew language, right? Which are the other ancient languages, right? Or the Chinese language or the ancient unspoken, no audible. They're speaking through telepathy, through mind, through thought, right? And it is a much more efficient way of communication, by the way. Instead of giving a 1 hour video, 45, I can give all 350 some odd videos in an instant downloaded to you in one instant, right? That's how they communicate. They transmit knowledge to me, when I met them. So it could be hallucination, right? That to those who are skeptical, yes, brother, it could have been hallucination. Maybe I'm, half crazy or something, right? But I never see this type of thing before, and it fulfills the description as it is described. And in the Vedanta, in the Upanishads and the Vedanta, in the Puranas and so forth, and also in the pictures, very close to some of the pictures. And I know, and they don't come and say I am this and that. When you're doing the mantra, sometimes you meet this spirit, because I'm spiritual, right? I'm an energy healer. I'm spiritual. Of course, there's we can see, higher frequency entities, right? Which could be hallucination, right? For the scientific community, I accept could be hallucination. Maybe, I need some, treatment. I don't go too deep into it. I don't even talk about it much. But the mantra has got a form, and when I speak to the form, like through thought, I learn because you keep doing it and you learn. And I said, "Are you God?" He said, "No, I'm not God." But everyone calls you God, right? I said, "No, yes, God is." He showed the universe into nothingness, and I see like all like these angels surrounding this, like this space in the middle, and there's like emptiness in the middle. It is like big nothing, right? And but not nothing. It's like then I went deeper, and they say beyond form and beyond formless. So let me give you from the meditation experience. So there's something very common in meditation from the beginning. When I'm meditating, that time only 20 minutes a day, right? Never decades ago. And I used to notice as I was progressing that I'm closing my eyes for meditation, and I open it, and I could have sworn that I only felt like a few minutes passed, but 20 minutes passed. How did 20? So there was like a gap in time. But as I started to advance more and more in meditation and start to practice like 16, 13 to 18 hours a day meditation, I say, oh my God, how are you meditating 13 to 18 hours? I say, you know what? I'm not experiencing, I'm only feeling 20 minutes. I want to meditate only 20 minutes, right? That's my habit. I opened my eyes, feeling 20 minutes was gone, but actually 2.5 hours went. I said, oh my God, I only felt two. This definitely, I never make a mistake. So I went into the theory of yoga and meditation. There's a state called the no thought state, nirmal sthiti. So it is experience where the construct of time is not experienced. There's no time, and there's no I for me to for me to have an experience. There must be an I, there must be an ego, and there must be a mind. So there is no mind, there's no ego, there's no I, and there's no time. So when you open your eyes, you feel that gap, and honestly, you can't see where that gap started and where it ended. You just felt a smooth progression of time. And I even practiced open eye meditation. I said, now I'm going to catch that point where there's the gap. And meditating, I couldn't find the gap. It looked like a normal, like a movie. You know, what is present in front of me was present. But of course, I didn't try meditating in front of crowds of people. It's, where I can suddenly see a change, suddenly, outdoors, that now it's sunset, or is getting a bit, the sun is a bit lower suddenly, to see the transition. But I mean, I didn't want to go crazy into that level. I just experienced that, that time, that no thought state. And as I was maturing over the decades and coming, I said, if the experience of Ramakrishna is the energy, the creative energy of God, and the creative energy of God, according to Ramakrishna, is female. So I know God is not female or male. How can we say God is a woman or God is a man? Theoretically, right? So maybe I'm totally off base and totally wrong. But Ramakrishna said, no, God is God, and God is a female, right? And created everything, the cause of everything. But according to like the Quran, it says before he created everything, he created something like it. And we know there's a subtle energy, and the energy has got when we know the mantra has got a form, everything has got some type of form, right? Either masculine form or feminine form, right? Is what I experience, right? And from the mantra, and these are not, I'll discuss that more, my thoughts on that, more in another video. But I came to the conclusion, actually, the God realization, the experience of God is a non experience. Because one of my teachers says it's indescribable. When you come to a certain level of meditation, the Sabikalpi Samadhi, the Nirbikalpic Samadhi, where you experience yourself as the whole universe, but then there is levels beyond that. So above Sabikalpi, above the seven chakra, there's another 99 chakras, according to one of my teachers. As you're going higher and higher, it's like to experience God, you cannot explain it. It's beyond explanation. It cannot be described. So many times I experience that point where I lost the time, indescribable. I can't describe how where the time went. That experience was so. How do we experience that on a daily basis as a normal human? Is in deep sleep. We don't dream, right? So of course we don't not seeing that the time is passing, or we lost the time, or because we were asleep. Dream we experience, but deep sleep, non-dreaming state, right? But in physical meditation, you also go into that total relaxed, no thought state. But the difference between deep sleep and meditation, according to the theory, according to my teachers, another one of my teachers, right? He said we get restfulness, we get recharged by the cosmic energy in deep sleep. And if you don't go into deep sleep, it can be dangerous. You will feel, if you had a restless sleep, you're going to feel tired the next day. But if you slept well, it means you went into deep sleep is only when you recharge and you've slept enough to be able to get sufficient of that deep sleep, right? A good amount of that. And then only, that's why it's recommended to have 7 to 9 hours of sleep so that you capture as much as possible of the deep sleep. Maybe it's not only in one sector, it's like two, three parts that you're having this non-experience, right? I don't know. I mean, the scientists know more about this. They say it's only in one slot of time, right? Doesn't make sense to me that it'll be in one slot. It can be in multiple slots that you can experience it. So the difference between that and meditation, when you go into that deep state as well, it is exponentially more powerful in terms of your connection with the universal energy compared to in deep sleep. So you get abundant energy. You get a lot of energy in deep sleep, but you get abundant energy in meditation, much higher. So 2 hours of deep meditation and 2 hours of deep sleep is like, the meditation is possibly, depends how this thing, when you go into the no thought state, it's like 10 times or 100 times or exponentially. I don't know what figure to put to it, right? But my experience, not like I'm not feeling that much higher, right? But more, it's like self-healing, because when I'm doing energy healing for other people, and I just sit in a 20-minute meditation, so sometimes I'm doing 14 people in a row, I'm totally drained, right? I'm doing 40, and my sessions are like an hour long, right? 45 minutes to an hour long. And this is like 14, 15 hours, 16 hours non-stop, right? Doing healing, sometimes, and totally drained. And I just meditate for 20 minutes. I'm recharged, charged, ready to go to heal another 14 people. And when I'm healing, I'm putting all my energy into that person. So in the beginning, when my energy was low, when I just healed one person, I lost all my energy because I'm giving like my whole life force to that person. But each person, I'm filling his life force energy to the top, right? Uh, and I got like the level of 14 people's lives, right? I've given, that's how much energy I have, stored in me. And and it becomes totally empty. In 20 minutes, I recharge. So we'd say 14 times, more powerful than sleep. Because when you sleep, you recharge yourself for one person, right? For your one life. And I'm recharging for 14 lives, right? So if that is an expression of of how it recharges. And then also in the Islamic, sorry for bringing Islam, because I know people are very negative against it and so forth, and I don't like to bring religion into it, but just anecdotal. It says that every person connects with God in the sleep, right? It's either in the Quran or in the Hadith, I'm not sure, right? And not important, but I reflected in that we get total restfulness, from the source of energy. So when we're connecting to the source of creation, source of energy, makes sense logically, we're going to be re-energized, right? Because we are exposed to the natural elements and the energy, the cosmic, we are exposed to it, but we don't know how to download it, right? Only in deep sleep we can. So we're not getting from the universe, we're getting from the source of the universe, the source of energy. So my understanding of what God realization is that God is neither form nor formless. Beyond form is inconceivable. It's not possible to conceive. You can try it every time. Certain meditation. I'm doing this for decades, right? Meditation, and I tried so many times over the decades to experience what is this thing of this gap in time, right? So when I'm experiencing bliss, oneness with everything, one with everyone, my consciousness is one with the universe, I say all this is not God because I can experience it. I know what the experience is. I can perceive it. Only when it's imperceptible and inconceivable, I say this is God, right? So hope that brings a new perspective on it, because we're living in a pluralistic society, right? We now are in the 21st century, in 2025, where we give voice to very unique perspectives. And I'd like to add this one perspective, and I've got support for it, where there is many sayings in Vedanta. It says is beyond form, beyond formless. And in Vedanta, right, leave Islam out, in Vedanta, there's a saying, part of Vedanta, neti, 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 neti. You keep it, neti, neti means not this, not this, not this, not this. So when I experience something, the samadhi, I say, no, this, how can it be God? Because I experienced it. If I experienced it, means it's within my frame of mind. I've fitted him within a certain finite experiential um, construct, right? So that, and God is much greater than that. He created all that, created the mind. How can he be captured within the mind? You cannot. I said, no, this is not neti, 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 or walam yakullahu kufuwan ahad, right? In Islam, it says that. Because I believe I mean, that's my belief, right? So everyone got his belief. So we say, okay, that's my view, right? And I accept that's my view. Is it the correct view? Who knows which is the correct view? Who can come and say, who knows? We know when we die, right? What is right and what is wrong. And even when people die, they see the light and everything. I say, no, this can't be God. God is not light. If you see it, means you conceived it. It's not God, it's something else, right? Maybe something very supreme, the energy of God or whatever, but not God, right? I cannot accept that God is a light or something. I believe He is beyond, and it's very convenient for me to say that, but from both Islamic and Vedantic, right? In Christianity, I don't see, any. Um, I cannot recall any reference to that where God is beyond, conception of the mind. But in Islam, it says clearly that uh, there's only one God. It's not many, right? Uh, and kullu Allah wahad means is only one. Allahu Samad. Everything and everyone is dependent on Him. Even we need to sleep to connect, go into deep sleep, and we connect with God to recharge ourselves. Right? We need a recharge, and the planets are moving in precision. Right? Precision. Everything is happening according to a precision, amazing precision. If the Earth is spinning slightly slower, everything on the planet Earth will die. If it goes slightly faster, also everywhere. It like absolute precision in everything. The gravity is precision, right? The way the plants grow and everything is amazing, right? There must be some force behind it, right? So Allah, everything is dependent, right? Kullu Allah Hussama. Allah Hussama, everything is there. So I'm just bringing anecdotal, just bear with me, right? Walam yulid, walam yulad is neither born nor does he give cause to birth. He doesn't have children, doesn't have a wife, a family, and grandchildren, and then all these things and cousins and all these things. He doesn't have all that. He doesn't have a wife, and he's neither male nor. That means he's male. God, if God had to assume any sex, Ramakrishna said God is female, right? It's not male. If it's going to be male or female, so he can't be male or female. Female means you're not male, right? There's some deficiency, right? That is neither male nor female, right? Not because he can't go and have a wife or copulate or give rise. He just have to say be and it is, right? He doesn't have to go and impregnate someone to give. You can create just by saying be, and it is. Like, how did he create Adam? From the dust of the earth. There was no womb, no mother, right? He was created, be as that is if you believe in creation, right? If you don't believe in creation, it doesn't depend. The argument falls flat, of course. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad, right? Is inconceivable, right? And then in the Vedantic side, neti, neti, not this, not this, not this. If it's something you can conceive, it's not that. This, if there's a this or if there's a that, it's not this. It's neither this nor that. Neti, 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 neti. Or lam yakullahu kufuwan ahad. These are the two. So I'm coming with two very strong religious backing for my argument as well. Not something that I'm this thumb sucking. 4,500 year, four and a half to 5,000 year old religion too. The claimed the latest a religion which is the last evidences, because people, the most of the books were corrupted, and so the last one will be incorruptible. The book will always be preserved without any corruption. And also there's arguments against that, but if there's one of the least possibly corrupted scriptures from all the scriptures that are available, from the Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran, the Vedanta, and so forth. It's possibly the one logically that has least exposure to corruption would be the Quran. And of course, there's newer and newer religions coming out. There's 100 new religions that are formed currently in 2025, right? That's the statistic. Every year, 100 new religions are formed, right? And they possibly have their books and so forth as well, and their information, their knowledge. There's so much. We are pluralistic society. But this is about my progression in understanding of what God realized. So it is a God realization. It's not the seeing of God, realizing what God actually is, realizing the ambit of what means inconceivable, realizing what possibly means neti, realizing what is beyond the mind and beyond the conception of the mind and the brain and so forth. And it's a very good theory, right? In physics, or as a theory, that if there's a God, it must be something so great that we can't find a mathematical formula, beyond formulas and beyond space, beyond nothing, right? Beyond something and beyond nothing. Nothing means from nothing comes something, right? It's a type of thing, nothing, right? So neither nothing nor something, right? Amazing type of thing. So when we keep saying that, it like blows our mind. Then we say, okay, that is a good theory for God, but it's my experience, right? Which I'm saying, my experience of God realization, and that's what I feel and accept to be God, right? So I hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.